Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the Rockwood number 2840-626 automatic flush bolt. The 2840 is a top automatic flush bolt that you can see here. This is the body or the business end of the 2840. Oh, sorry. Haha. That's what it looks like. Automatic flush bolt. What does that mean? First of all, inactive door is in the closed position, and when the active door closes, it's going to make contact with this trigger, going to force the installed rod to shoot up into the header. Automatic flush bolt. So, every time the active door closes. Very handy in instances when you have the requirement to make sure both doors are in the latched position. Awfully handy when you open one door and immediately want to open the inactive door when you're coming through. Can be installed with another automatic flush bolt at the bottom. Can be installed with a manual flush bolt at the bottom for a semi-automatic installation, whereby you want to you have a need to keep the door, the inactive door, always in the locked position regardless of door position, but flipping just one bolt will then allow you to have a fully automatic sort of installation. This is why you might see that. This video will go over the item, as I've just kind of done, a little bit more visual review, dimensional review, installation review, sister products, and conclusion. The 2840 is a top bolt only. When you buy the 2840, you're only getting one bolt that's meant to be installed at the top. Non-handed, low 5 pounds maximum of closing force, so your handicap compliant door closer should still work quite well. Fully automatic, opening the active door retracts the top and bottom bolt if you have two of them installed. Override feature prevents, you may have noticed what I did earlier, prevents damage to the door if the bolt head is locked, so I can keep my finger on that and it will not project up. If there's a misalignment or some problem where the bolt head cannot find its way into its location, the door will still latch because of that override feature. Bolt head is adjustable up to 1.5 inches. That just means that this is threaded onto here and you can tailor that to really suit your needs. Thermal lock automatically locks the inactive door under high heat conditions of fire. Okay, so what happens here? What happens here? What is that? What is it that happens here? I don't recall. I'm going to pause this video. I've forgotten more things about hardware than some people have ever learned, and I forgot how this thermal feature works. Stand by. Yeah, forgive me for not remembering that, but I do now. Just had to study it. The thermal feature is this. When you're in the closed and locked position, that's up. Under heat conditions, this piece of nylon is going to melt and go away. The spring that's back here, that looks like a paper clip. That's going to project out and catch underneath that black stud that's hanging out. And that's going to keep it captive in the locked position. That's how that's going to work. Because in a fire installation, under those conditions, that door needs to be positively locked, period, end of sentence, because it's a fire door. Dimensional review. Let's jump right into it. Faceplate dimension. This is going to be 6 3/4 by 1, and that's a very common installation size for flush bolts. Manual, semi-automatic, automatic. It's going to look like that. Overall projection, back of the body is about 1 7/8 inches. Up over here is about 1 3/8 inches. Not that that really matters. This is a 12-inch flush bolt. That's not mentioned anywhere. What that refers to is the dimension, if you don't know, from the top of the door, when the rod is installed, top of the door to the center line of the prep. That's why that's what this is meant as 12-inch. So when you're doing door preparation, you're going to specify, someone will specify to the door manufacturer or the person prepping it, it's 12-inch. Top of the door, or not in this case, but bottom of the door to the center line of that 6 3/4 faceplate. That's where it gets the 12-inch dimension. This rod is not 12-inch long. It's probably closer to 10-inch long, perhaps. And what we can do is remove that. And longer bolt heads can actually be ordered. Why would you need a longer bolt head? Well, if you have a real funny condition, especially at the bottom of a door where your sill is incredibly unusual in terms of the length. Okay, so about 9 1/8. Dimensional properties of the bolt head itself, about 2-inch overall, half by half, I would say. That's square stock. You're going to get a bolt guide. This is incredibly important that it be installed in the top of the door so the bolt can stay captive and not turn and therefore become unthreaded from its rod. So it needs to stay captive there. Okay, that will be installed into the top of your metal door. Actually, I've got that upside down. Not necessarily upside down, but whichever. If you have an inverted top channel, it'd be easier to have it in this sort of fashion, which is indeed the way that it's shown in the installation instructions. You will get a strike for the header. Backing up, dimensional review. The rod guide, about 1 7/8, about 1 inch. Overall height, about 5/8. Strike plate should be about 2 inch or so. Oh, forgive me, 2 1/4, maybe 15/16. Wrong again, 1 inch. You will get a strike plate. Now this strike is going to mount onto the active door so that when the active door closes and makes contact, it'll hit this strike plate on the door so that you're not marring the edge of the door. Okay? You're going to get a package of fasteners. They're combination wood and machine screw, but that's probably for inventory constriction, just so they're not keeping both wood and machine screws. There's a link below this video to a document called Template. Let's tackle that next, and it's included with your hardware. It's going to give you all of the dimensional properties of where you are to install this. The 12 inches referred to there as well. And installing this, because this is intended for your metal door application, it's really going to be shown for a metal door perspective. It's not going to, the template's not going to be drawn as a wood door installation because it's not rated for wood doors. There'd be, you could physically install it to a wood door, but this is the wrong flush bolt for a wood door. It could be. Anyway, no reason to discuss that because it's not permissible. Fire-rated metal doors that are either A, B, C, D, and E rated up to 4080 single leaps. Now that template link, I want to review that and see if there's any pitfalls to be aware of. What I like to do when I am going to prep something, if I've got a steel door and I'm going to prep that, I'm going to do a reality check, make sure that all of the dimensions match the hardware and that I have an understanding of what I'm going to cut and where. This template is simple and straightforward. I don't see any inconsistencies, and inconsistencies are not unheard of, even though they're very rare. Template drawings go through several revisions from different sets of eyes as well, or goes through review through different sets of eyes, so it's unusual to see a mistake. If you're going to prep this in the field, you're going to have to cut that door. You're going to have to be licensed to prep the door. Mounting tabs you'll have to have installed, and we can supply you with those as well, that you'll likely weld into the edge of the door and then physically mount the body to with those screws. And then at that point you just prep the top of the door, drill that hole for the bolt guide to come through. And if you have an inverted bottom channel, an inverted top channel, you're probably just going to surface mount that and then attach that to the top of the door. If it's not an inverted bottom channel, you're probably going to, you're going to need to flip this over and probably cut your prep and put a mounting plate there and then have it in that sort of installation. But inverted top channels are not unusual. They're not common in all door manufacturers, but they are in some. Anyway, door construction is a different video, I suppose. So looking at the balance of the template, I think everything is simple and straightforward. You do see where the application of the active door strike needs to be. That lip just needs to be facing towards what would be the push side of the door so that it makes contact with the trigger on the flush bolt. There is a link below this video to the product brochure where we are going to talk about the different flush bolts, and you'll see the 2840, the single automatic top only, and then the set, the 2842, which is very common. Then you've got the self-latching version of this stuff so that when your door, when the inactive door is actually closed by its closer, its closing hardware, it will self-latch. You don't have to wait for the active door to come and latch it, is the point of that installation. Reference to the 570 dustproof strike is very common as well if you're installing that. Obviously, coordinators can possibly go with this material. Certainly if you have some sort of astragal set that's going to be installed on doors, coordinators would be very typical and common. Available in all of the common finishes naturally from Rockwood, your brass, your bronze, your chrome, oil rubbed bronze as well. Being Rockwood, they would probably entertain custom finishes. If you wanted to do an antique nickel, they would probably entertain being able to supply you with antique nickel as well. Finally, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Rockwood products that we sell, but a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. Now, I'm quite partial to Rockwood, and it's because there's a confluence of several exceptional features: customer service, technical support, prompt, reliable, predicting lead times, fit and finish, the willingness, the moxie to entertain custom requests, the universality of their name when it comes to acceptance in the industry, in the construction industry. All these things collude to give you an exceptional supplier of trim and auxiliary hardware. If you have any questions on the Rockwood 2840, 626 top flush bolt only, automatic flush bolt only, or any other Rockwood product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you very much.